This modeling report shows how a 132 scale 2-seat Lightning trainer model was made. For this, a Trumpeter 132 scale kit numbered 02280 for a Lightning F1A or F kit will be converted with the Whirlybird trainer conversion set. This conversion set has two big forward fuselage nose halves, various other resin parts for the cockpit, etched brass and even some extra decals for pair. A Royal Air Force T5. The big wide canopy and windshield are vacuum-formed. It was decided however to make this Lightning trainer model as a T4 Mark 54 in a Saudi Arabia Air Force metal paint scheme. Many parts of the Whirlybird set can be used but characteristics of the F1A with the rounded vertical tail as provided in the Trumpeter kit. Required decal markings will be home designed and custom printed. First, the Whirlybird resin parts were cleaned up. Some mold blocks need sawing and sanding. Wear vinyl gloves, face mask, and do all cutting and sanding under a running water tap. For the conversion into a trainer, obviously the Trumpeter kit front nose sections need to be removed with a razor saw, as the Trumpeter part seems to be some 3 mm too short somewhere in the mid fuselage. I set the cutting sawing line aft of the cockpit and in front of the wing some 3 mm more aft than suggested in the Whirlybird instructions. The fatter spine also needs that a section of the Trumpeter kit spine is removed from both fuselage parts. As the model will get a new front fuselage nose section of the trainer, the big inaccuracy of the Trumpeter Lightning front fuselage nose is not an issue anymore. The took resin ejection seats look good. For the canopy frames, a separate resin parts is provided. That was also airbrushed black. The trainer front cockpit resin parts were set. Then the huge heavy resin nose halves were joined. The alignment of the trainer nose needs careful trimming and ensuring all is vertical. The vertical tail was set of the Trumpeter kit but at a slight more tilted angle to be more accurate. Plastic card insert was made at the base that is 3 mm high at the front and 0 at the rear, tilting the tail backwards. All was puttied and sanded. The external shape at the rear Trumpeter fuselage at the exhaust pipes needs improving as the 8-shaped cross-section is too deep/curved. This can be improved with plastic card and 2-component, less shrinking putty filler. The Trumpeter exhaust parts are also inaccurate. I installed better looking resin parts from a master cast set numbered MST 32040. The Trumpeter horizontal stabilizers have inaccurate tip outlines. These can be corrected with sanding in a curve and removing 2 mm from their ends. A base gray coat was airbrushing to check for any flaws. I airbrushed my favorite Revell Aqua 75 Steingrau thinned with isopropyl alcohol. Any small repairs were made. When all seemed okay, the model got a gloss black paint coat with Revell Aqua Gloss Schwarz acrylic. The model would get a natural metal finish. A good way to fill tiny scratches is to airbrush few thin coats of Johnson Future/Pledge acrylic floor varnish before setting any metal coats. This will fill the tiny scratches. Thin the Future/Pledge with 25% Gun Sangio leveling thinner and this will excellent smooth result. The natural metal finish was accomplished with alclad metallic paints. Ventilate the airbrushing area and wear a face mask. The paint mostly used was alclad ALC 115 polished aluminium, followed by a few panels with ALC 119 airframe aluminium, and at the exhausts ALC 113 jet exhaust. Masking of the panels was done with very low tack tape. The trainer cockpit was now detailed further. The Whirlybird conversion set has very nice resin details including a nice wide twin instrument panel and a pair of ejection seats. The resin instrument panel was airbrushed as was the cockpit interior medium sea gray. Some gaps needed to be closed between the coaming and the fuselage. Cutting out these clear vacuum canopy and windshield parts needs careful study where to cut with fine scissors. The internal frame is a resin part that was airbrushed dark sea gray. A metal rod was installed at the rear to set the canopy tilted open. Rod ends will go into two holes drilled in the fuselage edge to our nose cone was airbrushed matte green and set in place. The decals for the desired Saudi paint scheme were applied. These decals had been home designed and custom printed by a third party. I had also included the long walkway lines. The model surfaces are glossy, so no need for a prior gloss varnish coat here. The smaller stencils came from various sources, spares from the Echelon kit, Trumpeter kit decals. An extra decal stencil set X32019. Note the Arabic no-step markings and old-style roundels. Carriages were now handled. The Trumpeter Lightning kit has unfortunately some other inaccuracies. The rubber wheels are 1.5 mm too large in diameter. And I do not like rubber vinyl. So I bought an aftermarket set from Armory, both plastic and soft metal gear parts in the kit. But the main gear struts of the Trumpeter kit are however 3 mm too long. At the top end 3 mm was removed. Now the main gear parts could be installed inside the base. And on the gear legs hydraulics tubing was added made from JMC Hobby lead wire, which is flexible. As the trainer model with resin nose is quite heavy, I also bought the scale aircraft conversion nose gear set as replacement for the plastic Trumpeter nose strut parts. The T4 trainer could also fire streak missiles. These are provided in the Trumpeter kit. Fitting the corrected stabilizers was, and the final bits are now installed. On the front edge of each large main gear door a taxi light is fitted. This was made from metal foil, with a disc punched out with a Waldron punch and die set. The plastic Trumpeter pitot tube was replaced with a Master AM metal pitot. The overall model was cleaned up and got a gloss varnish coat by airbrushing Ammo Magay stand. Aqua gloss acrylic. The varnish protects the decals and gives an even sheen on the alclad finish. The prepared ejection seats that had been painted were set in place. The big trainer canopy was kept detachable and an raising actuator installed, and all was set. That completed this unique model. In 1966 Saudi Arabia acquired for its Air Force English Electric/BAC Lightnings. These had like most Royal Air Force aircraft a natural metal scheme. 2 Lightning T4 Mark 54 and 7 T5 Mark 55 two-seat trainers were used at Tehran Air Base. More model details as well as more than 500 other models can be found on my website, aircraftinplastic.com. I hope you enjoyed this video.